Okay, let's talk about smut. Because if you've ever wondered why certain books make you blush, binge read it until 2 a.m., or suddenly consider booking a trip to Scotland for reasons you cannot fully explain, this episode is for you.
Today, we're diving into the world of smutty books, why we love them, how much is too much, and why erotica has such a chokehold on our brains, even when the plots are deeply unhinged. We're talking safe fantasy exploration, actual research on why these books improve your sex life, why women are turned on by words way more than visuals, and why smut is basically the bookish version of reality TV. Low stakes, high reward, and weirdly good for stress.
And then class will be in session. Emily will be playing a smutty professor and ranking her top smutty reads of all time. And a few honorable mentions that we can't name, but we will literally never forget.
And because we can't end an episode without a little chaos, we'll play Two Truths and a Lie Erotica Edition, where we try to guess which outrageous plot lines are real books and which ones are fever dreams. So let's get into it.
Whew, okay, I have a lot to talk about here.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with smut and its place in books, because I feel
Yeah.
like there's a lot of discourse around this and like how much is too much? Why is it even included? Like, does a plot rely too much on it sometimes? Like, I feel like there's just a lot of debate on this.
Yeah.
And to me, I think what's interesting is this like almost derailment of like our ability to go through a slow burn and our ability to like sit through like 300 pages of just yearning and of buildup and of all of the like little small moments that like lead up to the big bang of the moment. And we've like
Yeah.
really gotten into this insta love place where we're like, if I don't have a smutty chapter by like chapter 10, I'm literally out.
Yeah. And why are we all so feral for those smutty chapters? Like, that's what we need to figure out.
That's right. Like, what happened to literally Mr. Darcy standing in the rain, being like,
Touching your finger.
I love you. And then you get into the fun stuff. Like,
We don't even know if they ever got into the fun stuff.
true. We don't
And
know that.
it's
And that
still a
was enough for
classic.
me.
Yeah.
And
But
that was enough for me.
is that why smut is its own genre? Because it just
But
can't
is
be
it?
that. Yes, it is. It's literally its own genre. It's called erotica.
Correct. But do you disagree that it's now been very heavily ingrained in romance books, in
Yeah.
romantasy? Like, I don't think that we can even really call smut its like own separate thing anymore.
No, it's definitely trickled into everything. Like, for example, Allie Hazelwood, like, I think that some people would put her in the same category as like Emily Henry sometimes, but she's
Yeah.
actually not because of how smutty her books get. So, like,
Right.
I do think that there's like levels to this now, and it's opened up a whole like subgenre to the
Right.
romance category.
Right. Which, don't get me wrong. I love a good spicy scene. Like, I eat that shit up. It is amazing. But I feel like in certain areas, we have taken it a little bit too far. And,
Yeah.
like, for example, we just read Brimstone, and it's like just filled with these massive, immediate love declarations. And, like, granted, they had a whole book where they were enemies to lovers. There was this whole buildup, whatever. But, like, it still did not feel like, oh, I had this like payoff of all of this work in the first book. It was just like straight to the I'm in love with you, you're my soulmate, and then let's freaking bang right now.
So, why do you think women? Because I definitely agree with you. Like, I think this is a thing where, like, we really want to get to the bang, and like maybe that's what we want in real life. But like, society has taught us that, like, oh no, you should love somebody. You should go on 7 dates first. You should do X, Y, and Z before you have sex with somebody. But like, what if we're all just looking for that hot, steamy bang?
We might be. We might be. And
And
but
what
that's
that's like what a smutty reader is like they want
right.
that. They want to get to it. Like they,
Totally.
you know?
But that's my point of like it bleeding into these other areas,
Yeah.
because then you get the people who don't necessarily only want that. I think the
Yeah.
problem is that we want it all.
That is true.
We literally want it all. We want Mr. Darcy saying, I love you. And then
Yes.
literally him like bending Elizabeth over and like railing her in the back of the car. It's like we
Yes.
cannot have the separation anymore for whatever reason. And I feel
Yeah.
like that is why this like men who yearn conversation has become such a big thing, because I feel like we've almost put ourselves in this like yearning drought where we've
Yeah.
like shown people and society that like, yeah, we want the spice, we want the smut, and like
Yeah.
that's what we want. But it's like, no, we want both.
So
But how do you get both in a book?
I actually have that question for you is like, so these books, whether it's like erotica where the man and her are banging the first night they meet, whether
Mm,
it's romantasy where like it was enemies to lovers and they get there three-quarters of the way in the book, or if it's Mr. Darcy,
yep.
why do you think that these men don't exist? Like, why can we not have those men? Like, why can they not be reality?
You know, I actually had this question too. And I think that these men are not reality because they are written as obviously a figment of our female imagination, where we are literally plucking like the best parts of anything that we could possibly want and like putting it into a fictional man. Like, I
Yeah,
recognize that aspect of it, that like there is a little bit of delusion there, which maybe I would potentially equate to like women in porn, like
yeah.
for men who are like idealizing that type of woman,
And those women do not exist in
and
real
those
life, let
women
me tell you.
don't exist, okay? Stop looking if you're looking. I don't think any man listens to this podcast, but if you are, stop right there.
That's not what you actually even want. So that's the other thing is
Right.
like, are those the men that we actually even want in real life?
That's the thing, is I don't know. Like, I feel like when I read these books with like these beautiful grand like love declarations, I'm like, but then I'm like, if I got that in real life, like I might enjoy it.
Yeah,
That might be nice. Or if I read these books where it's so slow burn, like you are really getting like all of these small moments where they're literally like touching fingers, or like all you get is like he kisses the palm of her hand and like that's it. And I think that's beautiful in a book. But then I like think about that in real life and I'd be like, what the fuck is happening? Why,
yeah,
why
right.
have I spent months trying to guess if this man likes me or not?
Yeah, I would be like, he doesn't like me. But again,
Yeah.
what like do we put too much value on sexuality?
Right. Right. Maybe.
Again, like
Maybe.
there's a lot to unpack here.
So if you were to say, hey, men, here is what I think that you should read to learn about what women want. Would it be a smutty book?
Mhm.
Would it be like an erotica book? Would it be a romance that is a spicy romance? Or would it be like a classic romance
It would
with no spice?
never, never be an erotica book because let me tell you, that is not reality, and we will get to why later. But I don't think I would also pick like the extreme opposite where it's just like a classic romance book.
Mm,
So we read Problematic Summer Romance this year.
yeah,
Connor Harkness, like he was clearly like turned on by her and
yeah,
like sexually awakened by her and was showing it
right,
appropriately. But then
right.
at the same time, he was also like doing these things for her behind the scenes because he knows her and he knew what she would appreciate and like was making sure she felt seen and heard and
Yeah,
that's what I mean, again, that's what we want. We want it
that's what
all,
we
baby.
want. Yeah, yeah, I know.
But is that
But
too much to ask for?
no, it's not. And no, it's not. And we are not about to, in real life, gaslight ourselves. Okay. I
No.
can literally hear us doing it live
Yeah,
on air, and I'm going to stop it right now because
right.
that is what we deserve. And that is actually the bare minimum, dare
Yeah,
I say it.
yeah.
So I think if I were to give a man an erotica, a contemporary romance that's spicy, or a classic, I would probably also go with a contemporary romance that's spicy. But I would probably go with a like grumpy ex sunshine type of thing where
Mm.
the man is the golden retriever.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Because I think as I think about like real life parallels and what would like really work for me in real life, like I think that a guy that is just like so like teeth bared to like the entire world, like but me,
Yeah.
would probably like get old realistically.
Yeah, 100%. Why do
So
you
that would
want
be
to
my
be with
pick.
a person that the rest of the world thinks is grumpy? You want to be with somebody that the rest of the world is like, he's awesome.
That guy is cool.
Yeah, coolio.
Coolio.
So, you know what? I don't know what book I would give them. I know a lot of women had their husbands read Fourth Wing.
Oh yeah.
Um, Husbands, I don't know. I'm just categorizing men into a
Husbands.
category. You
They're
know what
all
I mean.
husbands.
I don't even have one. So, like, I think that a lot of them give Fourth Wing, which I don't think is like bad, but I do think that's more just about like the sex, don't you think?
I agree. I think for me, like, I think men need a master class in yearning. Like, I
Yeah.
really think that. I think that's a lost art. I think that men in like the 90s and the early 2000s who were like in their garage being like, "Where are you?" Like they knew how to fucking yearn. And
Yeah.
then all these guys started like watching these sports podcasts and like being
Oh
addicted to
God.
YouTube.
They're addicted to watching Joe Rogan or some
Oh
equivalent
my
shit
God. And
on.
then like regurgitating that and like forcing their opinions on everyone who does not care. Like
Yeah.
that is where we've gotten to. And I'm like, I think that the missing piece there is like the sitting down and like reflecting on like how they feel about a woman and like how they want to like show that and how they want to declare that love. And like it's not overnight. And like the
Yeah.
patience of that really is lost.
You
So
know, if I could extract Cassian from Akatar and make him into like a
mm,
novella, because no man has the attention span to make it to A Court
true.
of Silver Flames.
True.
I would share that with them because you know, like he literally yearns for Nesta for like 3 books.
From book 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then there's like a line in A Court of Silver Flames where she's like literally forcing him away. And he was like, the amount of times she like drops my hand, I will grab hers or something like that.
Yeah.
Like he will always be there for her and he's going to keep showing up and keep
Yeah.
like giving what he knows she deserves. And I love that.
I do too. I do too. I couldn't
Yeah.
agree more. So, what do you think in terms of how much smut is too much? Because obviously, if you're
Yeah.
reading an erotica, to your point, it's like, we're getting it on from page 1, and like that's fine. Like, that's my expectation. But
Yeah.
in any other area, to me, there is a line. And
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like it's getting crossed more often than not these days.
So I actually think I'm a good person to ask this question to because I have
Because
always,
she's the smutty professor.
yeah, I'm the smutty professor. There's always been smut in my books, even from an
That's right.
inappropriate age. I mean, we all remember in Twilight after Bella turned into a vampire
Oh,
and they
yeah.
went on that sex
And Breaking
marathon.
Dawn. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, I have always had a little smut in my books. And
That's right.
so when I'm thinking of like your example earlier when you said brimstone, there seems to be like too much smut sometimes. I think
Yeah.
that's an appropriate amount of smut.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
I
to me, it gets like unrealistic at a certain point where I'm like, how do you not have a UTI? How are you not having to take Tylenol? How are you not having to take a nap? How do you not need water?
Cassie. But then you think about the development of this story. So once I got through the young adult erotica or whatever, I
Mm,
got to the real adult erotica where they are literally having sex from page 7 and
yes.
they don't stop.
Sun up to sundown.
And so, like, that is too much. Like, that has its place. You're reading that for a reason.
Right.
Escapism. And
Yeah.
it's fun for what it is, but that's too much. Like, these people they're not sleeping. They're so sleep deprived.
Right.
They are literally doing it every hour of the day.
Right. It just, sometimes it feels so misplaced. Like we talked about this with Brimstone, where like literally this like huge thing happens and it should be a massive problem. It should be a massive ordeal. And Kingfisher and Sarah are like, let's go have sex. It's like, what?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Okay, that was too much.
Like, why?
I do think that since I read more, like, contemporary romance this year and they only do it, like, one time, though, I want them to do it more than once. Like,
That's fair.
the first time you do it, you're, like, a little, like, awkward, you're just trying to find each other, like, fumbling around. Like, I need
Yeah.
to see, like, maybe the 5th time where you're like, "We got the hang of this, let's do something interesting now."
Oh, the 5th time. Okay. I was gonna
Okay,
say,
no,
like
5th is a lot. Okay, 5
I
is a
was
lot.
gonna say I'd be fine with, like, a couple of times, you
Like
know?
3, yeah.
3. Oh, let's up the ante.
There has to be, like, a point where they try something new
Oh, okay.
for me.
Interesting. I don't
Yeah.
know. To me, I think it has to be like a buildup. Like, obviously, there's like different levels of spicy scenes, you
Yeah.
know? Like, it doesn't have to be the full sex
Yeah.
right out of the gate. But to me, I'm like, there's varying kinds of spicy scenes that I would really enjoy that don't need to be like full banging
Yeah.
for 50 pages on end, you know?
But you also, like, loved that scene in The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillick where he's, like, rubbing beeswax on her. Is that
Oh,
what
I
it is?
loved
You
that.
loved that. And I was like, "Wait, I didn't realize it was a spicy scene. I thought we were just, like, getting fitted."
See, but that's what I'm talking about around these like small like build up moments that are built into the plot. Like it's not a like dialogue a piece of dialogue where they're like doing this confessional. Like it's these like little moments that are built in where you're like, "Oh my God, like I am
Yeah.
in an Instapot pressure cooker right now and I need this to blow. I need the steam."
Well,
So that's what I like.
I think this is a good, like, segue into, like, why readers love smut for different reasons, and there are
Yes.
different reasons.
Yes. Yeah.
And I have done the sscientific research for you all on how this came to be, and we are gonna diagnose myself and Cassie,
Let's do it. And 99.9%
and
of
all of
women.
you as well. So,
Yes.
this one is interesting, and I think this is for a lot of women out there, is that reading these books is a safe space to explore different sexual scenarios, kinks, desires they may have in a very, like, low stake environment because it's not real life. Like,
Right.
in real life, you might meet somebody and you're like, "Oh, like, I'm gonna try to suck his toe," and he might not like that, and things may end, but in the book, he always loves it.
Yeah, I also think there's, like, an element of, like, discovery of these things too. Like, maybe you didn't even know that this random thing was a kink that you had, and then you read about it, and you're like, "Holy shit, I loved that."
I just learned
And
about a new kink this week from a Smutty book, and I actually can't say it on live television, but I didn't know it was real.
on live television. I didn't know it was real either. I too felt shocked by it, and it was not a point of discovery for me, let me tell you. But no, I agree. I think to me, it's like this exploration, but then also this like learning because I don't think a lot of, I'll speak for myself. I never felt super comfortable watching anything porny. I like
Yeah,
enjoyed that stuff in like movies and TV shows, but you
yeah,
get like little snippets here and there. Like you don't actually understand how the person is feeling and like what the buildup is and like all of those things. And so I think when you can read it and really go through it with the character, it's like this really interesting way to kind of learn some new things about
yeah.
yourself and things that you might not have known otherwise.
It's a guide to a womanly sexual awakening,
Mm, that's
and I
right.
love that.
That's
So,
right.
this one's also interesting because I've actually heard a lot of moms say this.
Oh,
Oh, oh,
oh, oh,
we're bringing the moms in.
moms have entered the chat.
So I've heard a mom say this out loud that, like, you know, you have 3 kids, you like lose your sexual desire a little bit. Like some of them are in the bed coming in and out. You're like
Mm,
gross. You haven't showered in 3 days, like all this stuff. But then
yeah.
they read a smutty book and it like makes them want to jump their husband's bones.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I feel like it's one of those things where, you know, no matter where your level of libido is, like, I think when you're sitting there and again, you're immersed in this scenario, this like sexual tension or the actual moment, like, it is something that, like, no matter what is going to put your mind in that place.
Yeah.
And the closest person to you, like, if that's your partner, Amazing for them.
And parents are tired. Like, sometimes foreplay isn't an option, and this is
Yeah.
kind of like the foreplay is done for them.
Well, and again, around this like discovery, like it could give you some really fun ideas around things that you might want to do. Like, say you've
Yeah.
been with this person for decades and you're like, oh my God, we keep doing the same boring thing. And you read a book and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I could do
Oh,
that. Oh,
then you read a Scottish Highlander book and you're like, let's
oh.
go to Scotland and let's get a kilt.
I actually have a question around this because
Yeah.
I am intrigued on if you or women in general actually think that you want to be having the sex that they are having in these books.
Yes.
Okay, my answer was yes too. But sometimes I'm like, "Oh my God," like, "Whoa."
But that's
Like
the difference between us reading smut and men watching porn. The things that
true,
they are
true,
doing in pornography are not reality.
true,
But
like,
men written by women and what the
true.
women are doing in the bedroom, real.
Well, and I feel like normally in these books, like, the man is some level of, like he's providing some level of, like, safety, like, no matter what the scenario is, like, the woman always feels supported, she always feels powerful and beautiful, like,
Yeah.
no matter what, and so I feel like that's probably an element of it too, where it does feel like no matter what, I'm like, "Oh, I could try that."
There are some that get a little extra, like, we're talking about, like, dark erotica, like, no, I am not
Yeah,
going to be in the
I don't need
sex
to be put
club.
in chains,
I'm
like, I'm
not
good.
in the underground New York City sex dungeon, like, that's too much, but I'm talking about, just, like, the light, like, I met a cowboy on a ranch and we're having a love affair.
Yes, exactly, I
Yeah.
would agree. Yes.
But this actually leads to one of my other scientific research in that you said these women always feel safe. There's always a happily ever after. Like, they meet the person's always in love with them. They're not questioning if they're in love with them. Like,
Yep,
it's a very, like, easy read escapism stress relief, and like
yep,
your heart rate is never going to be going high because you're stressed, you're worried about the characters, are they going to die, what's around the corner. Like, your
no.
heart rate is only going up because your libido is.
Your heart rate is going up because you are literally about to explode.
Your body temperature is on the rise.
Because something's going on down south on the South Pole.
But they're just like fun, silly reads, you
Yeah,
know?
totally, totally. I agree. I mean, I think it's just something where it's like you can turn your brain off, you can read a book, you can enjoy your time, you can maybe have some release if you get down like that.
Yeah.
And like, I think that that's amazing.
And
So, yeah,
like, so many of these storylines you are actively probably not going to have in real life. So it's just like
right.
really easy to like take yourself out of that stressful work week you had and place yourself in New Orleans meeting the mayor.
Well, and I, the mayor.
Mayor Kink.
I actually think too, like this is such an interesting parallel with like people who watch reality TV, and I think a lot
Oh,
of times the smartest women that I know binge the most trash content, like
yeah.
binge like wildest reality TV, like love smut, like really get into these. And I think it's for that reason because their brains are on overdrive all day.
Yes.
Like they are the ones controlling things, like they are the ones doing things, like
Yep.
they have all the mental load, like they have a busy ass day. They are at work being a badass, they're at home being a badass, and they literally just probably want to sit down with a book where a guy is like, no, 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 I've got you.
Yeah. An executive for a company I worked for literally said, she was like, I'm not reading self help books at night. I am reading the
No,
smuttiest trash I can get my hands on. And I was like,
exactly.
that is so real.
Yeah, and that's fair, and there is a place for that. So, I
It's
feel like
kind
a
of,
lot of times people turn their noses up to smut, and I'm like, "No, like, people need this, and people enjoy this, and there's a place for it."
yeah. Um, I just read a
Uh,
note. I just read a note I wrote down and I am laughing. I think I have to read this word for word.
what?
My last scientific research is that, which I kind of mentioned this, it's emotional foreplay. So
Mhm.
a lot of men respond to the shape of a breast or the shape of a leg or a woman's buttocks. They call themselves a boob, a bum, or a leg man. Sometimes it's all three. But women are much more turned on by what is said and what they read and what they hear between their ears.
That is true. That is true. I can be so easily turned on by the graze of a finger, and
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah,
I could be so easily turned on by a man just getting up early to like make her breakfast because
oh,
he knew that she was tired. Like I
yeah,
those things that eat easy, auto.
yeah.
It's done.
Saying, "Oh, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen," when I'm wearing my sweatpants and I haven't washed my hair in 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Done.
yeah.
I'm out.
And then I
It's
and then I
easy.
show my buttocks to him, and he gets what
Your
he wants
boob.
too. My
You
one
know,
boob.
that's the thing that gets me about this is like truly it is so easy for men. Like I cannot underscore enough how easy it is to just literally make a woman happy. Like, just
Oh
say
my
the thing
god.
out loud. Just give us a "you look beautiful" when we know that we look like garbage.
Bring us our coffee in the morning before we get
Yeah.
out of bed.
Yeah, like, it's just the guidebook's right there. It's right
Yeah.
out in front of you. Just
And
take it.
how do so many of them not know how to read it?
Oh, I don't know.
I know.
Is this how we need to pivot? Does this
Yeah.
need to become a PSA?
This is not a book club anymore. This is teaching men how to yearn.
The smutty professor
The smutty professors in class.
is in session. All right, let's hear your top 3 books for our listeners of who maybe or maybe not are into erotica.
Yeah.
And for everyone's background, Emily mentioned she has been reading these books for quite some time,
Yeah.
so she has a wide range of content to pull from.
I have probably read upwards of and I don't read erotica anymore. We actually just read our first smutty read this week, and it was like the first one I'd read all year, maybe.
Yeah,
And
but now
so
you're back.
I'm back.
She's like, I'm reading the second one.
I'm back. And so this was a time in my life, probably like a 6-year stint, and I probably read upwards of like 250 erotica novels.
Yep. Yep.
And so this is my top 3 of if you're going to get into the spicy books, where you could start.
Okay. Let's
Listen
hear
up.
it.
So this one, Cassie, I think you're going to love specifically. There is
Okay.
a book, erotica series called Backstage Pass Sinners on Tour.
Ooh.
And I did not make this up. I was literally obsessed with these books. And I think it was because it fulfilled this fantasy that I've always had, which I think we've all had to a point. Like, we've all seen One Direction, the Jonas Brothers, and been like,
Yep.
what if they pointed me out in the crowd and were like, bring her backstage because I connected eyes with her and she's the one for me?
Always. I've been having that dream since I was like 7.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, I think it is like a fantasy that a lot of women have. And so
Yeah.
these erotica novels that are like based on rock stars, lead singers, sometimes they're country singers, they like play on
Mm.
that fantasy and it is
Yeah.
yummy. And then they always end up on their tour bus. They're going on tour. It's a
They're always
dream.
on tour. Oh, I love that. Why
A
am I going to
dream.
read that immediately after this? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then also like Backstage Pass, specifically, they're like a rock band. And so like one book in the series, I think it's like the drummer and the bassist or something like fall for the same girl.
Oh, love
And they're
that.
not afraid to share.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
sign me up.
things get wild.
Okay, I love it. Good first pick.
Yep. Second, you guys are going to be surprised by this, but the Christina Lauren that we know and love, like the Honeymooners, what
Yeah.
else? What else has
Love
she
in
written?
other words.
Love in Other Words. She's kind of become like this romance staple used to write erotica. And
Love that.
Christina, I'm
Christina,
looking at
don't
you.
forget your roots.
I will never forget when I read Beautiful Bastard by Christina Lauren. It was the first ever book I read that was boss and assistant romance.
Oh, One would not glean that from the title.
Beautiful bastard. And it's always like he's the boss of some mega multi-billionaire company and she's like a damsel in distress. Like she takes care of her ailing mother who is in like long-term care and she's just scraping by and she's never had anything for herself.
Oh,
Yeah, you
okay. I
know?
like it. You know?
You know?
I love that. That
I
sounds
think
amazing.
it's a really good like space to start in because it's a little
Mm,
bit like it's more realistic, less like scary.
okay. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's where everyone should start. Let's not start scary. Let's
Yeah,
work up to that.
things do get scary in this genre.
Mm,
Now,
yeah.
this one, and I think a lot of our readers actually are readers. A lot of
Our
our
readers.
listeners are going to be familiar with this one. J.R. Ward. You've heard of her, right? Before, Cass?
Yes.
She is the writer of the Black Dagger Brotherhood.
Yep.
And I will say that this is not romantasy because I don't think that there's enough like world building magic system, like political intrigue to be romantasy. But she was the one that started taking fantasy elements like vampires and like things like that
Ooh.
into a romantic setting.
Ooh. I like
And
that.
so the Black Dagger Brotherhood are all vampires. And of course,
Oh.
they are like the alphas of the vampires.
Of course.
And the human women fall in love with them. And it is sexy, spicy. But there is no
Vamp.
there's no like magic element to it, you know?
Yeah. 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 Wow. I love that though. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone loves a vampire. Like, I don't care who you are. I know that you love a vampire. So, ooh, great picks.
Yeah, so I think that if you were to start your erotica smutty romance journey, start with one of those three. They're a good taste of the
Okay.
genre before you dip
Okay.
your toes into things that could include the mafia, sex clubs,
Serial killers.
BDSM.
Yeah. Let's start with this little sampler first
Yeah.
and then build up from there.
And when
I
you
like
read
that.
that little sampler, you'll know what you like out of it and you can pick and choose from there.
Speaking of how crazy this genre can get, this is a good pivot into our game, Two Truths and a Lie. So,
Yeah.
if you have ever looked up the plot of an erotica book, you probably have been like, is this an actual joke? Like, what is happening? So, today we are going to give you some curveballs on
Yeah.
ones that could be actual books versus ones that are literally made up out of our brains. So
Yep.
here we go. All right. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Let me start because, I might
Oh,
be too good at this.
okay. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see if you beat me.
Okay, here are your three options, two truths and a lie.
Okay.
She needs a fake fiance for Christmas, so she goes to her local strip club to find one. She
Okay.
is so desperate to save her sister that she bets her body in a high stakes poker game.
Okay.
She accidentally emails her spicy fan fiction to her boss. Instead of firing her, he asks her to write it about them.
I actually love that one.
Which one's fake?
The last one.
Yeah, how'd you know? The other two are so crazy.
I know. Because that was the one that was like the least crazy.
You know what's crazy? I read all of those.
That's not crazy either.
The strip club one, she thinks that he's a stripper, but he's actually the owner of the strip club.
Oh, that's a big curveball.
Yeah.
Okay, here are my two truths and a lie.
Okay.
When she starts a competitive apprenticeship abroad, she discovers her new boss is the same man she had a scorching one-night encounter with on vacation, and he has no intention of pretending they're strangers.
Mm-hmm.
On the day she buries her husband, a mysterious letter from a prison inmate draws her into a seductive, unsettling connection that quickly becomes far more dangerous than she ever imagined. A trauma nurse with a masked stalker kink drunkenly messages her favorite anonymous thirst trap creator, only to have him show up at her door, pulling her into a dark, obsessive romance that turns dangerously real.
I hope it's the second one.
It's not. Let's go.
Which one is it?
It's the first one.
No, I literally was like, I've read that. The first one, I was like, I've read that story.
No, made up.
The prison one? No.
Yeah.
That is too much. That is what's taking it too far.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay. I just one upped you. That's
Yeah,
big
you
time.
did. Yeah,
Holy
you did. Okay,
shit.
let me see if I can catch up to you, and if not, you're the winner.
Okay.
Okay. Her deceased husband took out a loan using her business as collateral. Now he's shown up to call in his debt.
Ooh. Okay.
A tarot card reader says she will meet her soulmate in exactly 24 hours. So she spends the whole day dodging men and then accidentally locks herself in an elevator with the last person she expected. A man takes guardianship of his niece after her parents die. She has PTSD and needs a motherly presence. So he hires a nanny, and you know where it goes from there.
And you know where it goes from there. I think it was the first one.
No, that's a real one. That is a book called Ruthless King, and oh my God, that is a top erotica book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it did sound great, but it just weirdly sounded like the most lukewarm out of the three.
Well, then you learn that he's like a mafia boss that runs the city, and she's got to pay up, honey.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
She gotta pay up.
Now, the one that was fake was the tarot card reader, and I think I'm writing that book in 2026.
I wanted to answer that one because it was so fucking insane, but
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I guess the elevator part didn't make as much sense to me now that I'm thinking about it.
But the last one is real, and it's a book called The Nanny and the Beast, and it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling.
The Nanny and the Beast. Okay. Are you ready? It's 1-1. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
All right. When a ruthless, powerful man becomes fixated on her, the heroine is pulled into a brutal, high-stakes world of obsession, violence, and dark desire where sanity is optional. After moving into a new apartment for a fresh start, she becomes the fixation of her brooding next-door neighbor, who always seems to be exactly where she is, and never by accident. A broke college student signs up for a sugar dating app and finds herself swept into a dangerously addictive arrangement with a wealthy, commanding man who quickly becomes more than just a transaction.
I've actually read a book like number 3 before, but I almost think it's fake. 1.
What's your answer?
1.
Nope.
Was it 3?
It was 2.
No! I am telling you, I have literally read that Sugar Baby book.
Well, the sugar one is the third one.
I know.
And that's true. Yeah, that's Sugar Baby.
I wonder was it called Sugar Baby?
Yeah.
I think I've read that book. That is so funny.
It was the neighbor.
Oh my God. So these like dark romance erotica books are so popular now that I was like, that one has to be real.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh my God. That's
Turns out I'm a good liar. I got you both times, baby.
And if you can't believe that these books are real, take on a new genre in 2026. Find out for yourself.
Yeah, push yourself a little bit.
Find out what level of science you fall in about why you love smut.
True. And tell us what you think. Come back, please, and comment on this episode. Let us know because we would love to hear about it. If you enjoyed this conversation, if you loved hanging out with us, laughing with us, please give us a rating, a review, any of the things. That helps us tremendously. And I think next week we are talking, what are we talking about next week?
Christmas, honey.
Next week, we're getting festive. Mariah is frosting. Our trees are up. We're going to be in some festive PJs. We're going to be ready to talk about Good Spirits by B.K. Borison.
And I am pumped. That is my first B.K. Borison.
I'm so excited. We will be talking about that book. We're going to be talking about our favorite holiday movies, our favorite holiday TV shows that we've watched recently, so that you know how to get cozy this holiday season.
It's going to be a good one.
That's right. All right. Well, we'll see you same time, same place. Bring your blankets, bring your book boyfriends, and we'll see you then.
See ya.